for this next area of coaching that you can learn from, this is the solution focused coaching. I really love this. This is really cool because it gets your client to focus on the future. It gets your client to think from a place of creation, to think about what they could bring into this world that could be different or that has worked before that you get to bring in again. So I'm going to break down some different ways that you can support your clients with solution-focused coaching, okay? The first thing is you could ask the miracle question. Now, a miracle question is asking your clients, imagine that a miracle happened overnight, right? You woke up in the morning and all of your problems are resolved. Now, in this case, you want them to think about what would they have done different in their life? What would their life look like now? And how would they feel if all of their problems were resolved? And this exercise helps your client to be able to clarify their goals and to actually identify the changes they want to make in order to be able to move to the place that they want to be in, right? So that's called the miracle question. Also, solution-focused coaching covers a lot of scaling questions, right? You want to go in and you want to ask your clients from 0 to 10, what would you rate your current level of confidence, or what would you rate your motivation today? So often when I'm doing solution-focused coaching, I'm checking in. Okay, where are you at? I want to gauge here. And then I would ask, like, what would take you up one more notch? What would you have to action? What thing would you have to maybe cut out? What thing would you need to create or call in, or what sort of conversation would you have to have, or what sort of things would you need to do, or maybe even a person you get to reach out to for assistance in order for you to move up another notch in this area. So it gets them to really think about what they're not creating, what they get to create instead. So it gives them actionable steps. The next thing is exception-seeking questions. So you want to see, like, what is the exception here? Often your clients will operate from a space of fear of the future or even just confused in the present. So what we want to do is we want to be able to tap into the past just briefly to see, what did you do in the past that worked really well, that got you through a certain situation like this before? So this becomes the exception. It's like, oh, there was that time where I felt similar and I did this and that actually worked quite well. Right? So it's called exception-seeking questions you get to ask. Another one is a coping question. So we want to ask your client, in the past, when you felt this feeling of overwhelm, or you felt frustrated, or you felt down and out, or you felt like you were hopeless, what did you do to be able to cope in that situation? You want them to recognize that they have resilience and they have strength within themselves to overcome these challenges, that it's not just the end of the world when they face this challenge, okay? So there's coping questions, then we have goal-setting questions, which, again, just like I mentioned in cognitive behavioral therapy and earlier in Confident Coach on some other modules, you want to set SMART goals, right? Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. It's pretty straightforward. You're going to hear this in probably most of the areas of coaching. So you know what that is, goal setting 101, right? Then we want compliments and affirmations. That's another key thing that we do with solution-focused coaching. So really just complimenting your client. Okay, look, where would you say that you are most proud when you're showing up in life? Okay, I feel really proud in the way that I am disciplined with my habits. Okay, great. That's awesome. You're awesome with your habits, right? You want to reinforce that they are doing awesome things as well. Obviously, keeping it real with them. You're not going to lie about it. There are some negative things that they could be doing too, or detrimental things, but you want to highlight the things that they're doing that are great, that are working, and then you want to affirm them and say, hey, I want you to reflect on your accomplishments you've had in the past too. Let's bring that into the space now. Let's look at your strengths and what you have been able to do. Let's join those forces together to be able to step forward with more power, okay? Another thing, action-oriented tasks. Making sure that they're staying in momentum is the key. So you want to be able to give them some tasks. Okay, tomorrow I want you to be able to step into this practice here, or I want you to do this task and then give me an update and let me know that you've done that task. right? It's really keeping them in the practice of taking action steps, even if they're little steps. Just moving forward is the key with solution focused coaching. Then we have solution focused feedback, right? You want to provide feedback to your client that really highlights their progress. So you want to say, hey, remember when you came in 3 sessions ago? Well, look, here's what you've achieved. This is amazing. I want to highlight the fact that you were able to overcome this particular challenge in an awesome way, and you've just kept your focus forward. I love how you process this feeling of hurt and you were able to work through it. So this is just really reflecting back the great achievements that you're noticing as a coach to your clients. And then the last thing that you would do for solution focused coaching, which is with every form of coaching, is follow-ups and accountability. Okay, so checking back in, hey, making sure you're all good. You might even do it halfway through your 6 sessions or so, maybe at the end of session 3 before you do session 4. As it's stretched out maybe over 6 weeks. Session 4, you might just check in halfway through and say, hey, let's just do a little audit. Let's see where your progress is at. Let me see if there's anything that's come up that maybe you haven't voiced to me yet. You could even do this on the 4th session at the start of the session. You could do it at the start of every session. It's really about following up accountability. Okay, what are you not quite happy with that you'd love to be able to shift? What would you love to create? What's your biggest concern right now? There's a number of questions you could ask within the follow-up just to hold them accountable and say, hey, remember you set this goal 2 sessions ago. I can see that you're not actioning it. I'm going to hold you accountable to that. So could you look into implementing this week the steps that I share with you so that we can hit this goal by next week, right? So that's where the accountability and the follow-up comes in. So look, this is a great way to be able to set clear goals. It's a great way to keep your clients in momentum, and also just keeping steps towards a greater future. I love solution-focused coaching. I know that there's a time and place for dipping into the past and going into the childhood things, childhood blueprint, trauma, wound work, which is what I teach in Influential Coach. That's like the deep, deep, profound shifts from an emotional level and reconciling the old unconscious patterns and thoughts and associations. And then when it comes to creation, this is a great way to coach, is solution-focused coaching. So anyway, I hope that was helpful for you. Maybe you might get excited about this type of coaching, bring it in the mix. You could learn a few different types of coaching methods and bring them together in your own unique way. That's what makes you a powerful coach.